Well, kia ora and welcome to the Harness Half Hour, of course proudly brought to you by Airpark Canterbury and HRNZ Marketing. I'm Jess Smith, and this week on the show we introduce junior driver Rebecca Heads following her first win, which was recorded at Rangiora on Sunday. Southland trainer Ross Wilson is also with us following his Achievement Award at the recent Southern Harness Awards. And American harness driver Steve Wiseman will be making his first trip to New Zealand in November. He's keen to have the opportunity to have a drive, so we find out more about Minnesota's leading driver. Plus, Richard Wilson returns this week with his bookie update. But first, here are this week's harness headlines. Speeding Spur won his first race on American soil in the Crawford Farms Open Trot at Tioga Downs on Monday, New Zealand time. The stallion fought hard to win in 1:52.4 for driver Brian Sears and his American trainer Linda Toscano. The win was a track record time for Tioga Downs. You May Collect was crowned Southland Horse of the Year at last Sunday's Southern Harness Racing Awards dinner in Invercargill. His trainers Kirsten Barclay and Tank Ellis also received leading trainer awards, with Nathan Williamson leading driver and Ellie Barron leading junior driver. Ellie also won the Award of Excellence for the year. And please remember that the annual New Zealand Harness Racing Awards tickets are on sale now. You can find them or find out more by visiting the HRNZ website for full information. Well, as we like to do here on the Harness Half Hour, it's time to highlight some of the milestones from the week that's just been, and really thrilled to have Rebecca Heads on the show after she picked up her first win as a driver. Rebecca, have you come back down to earth now?
No, I haven't really. I didn't get much sleep last night. I'm still buzzing this morning.
What kind of emotions went through you when you crossed that line first?
Well, first I was like, I think I'm going to cry.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty stoked with it, but yeah, it was great to finally get it.
Yeah. And of course it was not only for your employer, but it was a real family win too, wasn't it?
Yeah, Mum and Dad bred the horse and they still own him, so it was a big family thrill.
Yeah.
And Dad raced the mare as well, so it was a bit more personal too.
Yeah, exactly. And were they able to be there, Rebecca, or did they watch from home?
No, unfortunately Dad was working driving stock trucks in Coorau, but he listened to it. And my mum was watching it at the Cromwell pub.
So Coorau and the Cromwell pub, I'd say there would have been a drink or two to celebrate.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so Rebecca, looking at your background in harness racing, where did it all start? Obviously you've got a family involvement, but when did you first start to take notice of harness racing?
Well, I was always sort of going to the races with Dad every weekend, so I sort of just followed through on there. I did kids' carts when I was about 9, so I started tagging along to the races with my own pony, and it just sort of grew from there.
Oh, fantastic. And outside of the family, who would you say have been some of your main mentors as you've gone through the industry?
I've had a few people that have helped me out a lot. Tony Stratford, he really helped me, and so did James Rattray over in Australia. But yeah, Amber Hoffman did a lot for me too, and there's so many people that have helped me out. It's a bit too much to remember sometimes. I'm just thankful for everyone, really.
Yeah, exactly. Whenever you start listing them off, you're always petrified you're going to forget someone. But you've gradually moved your way up the South Island, haven't you?
Yeah. Made the way up to Canterbury now, so it's been a good decision.
Yeah. Are you enjoying it in Canterbury, Rebecca?
Yeah, I've loved every minute of it here at Nigel's. So.
Yeah. And what would you say going forward are your goals in the harness racing industry down the line?
Probably eventually be a trainer myself. Just take on the old man's colours and hope to get a few more winners and do what he did.
Does he know that you're planning on doing that?
Yeah. Well, I don't think he's planning on getting them out of retirement anytime soon, so someone has to.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, Rebecca, thank you so much for your time. I know that you're currently working with horses and you've taken time out to chat with us, so really appreciate it. Congratulations on the milestone.
No worries, thank you.
And in social media news headlines from around the world, starting off with New Zealand, milestones, of course, over the weekend featuring the win of Rebecca Heads, junior driver, getting her first win, and also trainer Kerry Kelly. Well done to the two of them. From Australia, it has been confirmed that Team Pizzuto will have Tiger Tara aimed again at the New Zealand Cup in November. His trainer confirmed this in an article with Adam Hamilton, which can be found on the HRNZ website, along with the latest Aussie updates. And from the USA and Canada, as mentioned, Speeding Spur was victorious on Monday in America, and Lather Up won the Dan Patchett Hoosier over the weekend as well, running down last year's Horse of the Year, Mick Wicked. Well, as mentioned, the Southern Harness Awards were held on Sunday in Invercargill, and the recipient of the Achievement of the Year award was Ross Wilson. Ross, congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much, Jess. Good.
Did it come as a bit of a surprise to you? I know that they went around and filmed all of the nominees, but were you surprised to win the prize?
Oh, very much so. I actually thought Kirsten and Tank would win it on their training achievements for the year, and the wins they had a record themselves. But I was very surprised, but no, much grateful for it though.
Oh, look, you shouldn't have been too surprised, because looking through the past year or the past season that you've had, a career best with 15 wins, but, to get horses in the harness jewels must have been a huge thrill.
Oh, you definitely for us, getting them in the jewels is the, that's the achievement on its own, so if they done better than that once we got there, that was just, the icing on top, really. So, no, it was great. I've had a couple of horses in the past that sort of, followed them around, you might say, but we always thought we had a bit of a genuine chance with Playboy to get some money, and it turned out good, so that's fine, yeah.
Yeah, and watching the replay too at the awards, the ground he made on some classy horses to finish in the placings was just huge, wasn't it? Yeah,
no, you sort of held up for a wee bit too long. If you had although... we sort of planned to drive him for one run, and that's how it turned out. So, getting in the first 5 was sort of the main goal. So, getting third was a bonus, really. No, it's great.
Yeah, and understand that potentially, you're going to attempt to qualify him for the New Zealand Cup this year.
Well, my aim in life now is to have a horse in the Cup. I've never had a horse in the Cup before, and he's probably the first horse I've had that would have the credentials and the ability to warrant being there. So. We'll see how, we're certainly going to do a lot in the lead up to see if it justifies going. But, that's my aim at the moment anyhow.
Yeah, and fantastic seeing that, you've ticked over the 100 training wins as well. So you must be really, really thrilled with how that's going.
Oh, yeah. Well, it took a long time to get to that 100. I don't think next time will come up in my lifetime. So, yeah, we're going to make the most of it, yeah.
And looking back through your involvement with harness racing, understand, Ross, that you had to make a decision early on between horses and full-time work.
Oh, well, just about 3 years ago, the old doctor found that the old heart wasn't going too good, and I was getting a bit stressed through a lack of sleep, basically, getting up at 3:30 in the morning and working like hell all day. So he said, you'll have to make a choice if you won't be here next year. So wow. I chose to work the horses, and the kids have taken over my part of the business. So, it's worked out really good.
Yeah, and you'd find that, you mentioned at the awards, Ross, that you find it really therapeutic to work with horses?
Oh, yeah, for sure, yes. Like, as I said, every day is a challenge. You wake up, you've got something to look forward to, and it's... it keeps you busy. It's great.
Yeah. And you've been a big supporter too, putting a lot of young drivers on your horses and trying to give them the opportunities.
Yes, I don't know what the figures are now, but at one stage, probably 60% of my horses were driven by junior drivers. So, but it probably come by necessity in some respects that once you get it lined up with someone who's doing a good job, you stick with them. You've got a driver for next week. Whereas sometimes when you're trying to get the top drivers, you think they're driving the horse next week and they're not. And Jason rings you up just before close off and says, who's driving your horse? And you haven't got a driver. So, but I do, to me it's a hobby, and I don't mind giving the young ones an opportunity. It's not the end of the world if it doesn't work out this week. We've always got next week. So it's good. And they appreciate it too.
Oh, exactly, and that loyalty goes a long way, doesn't it?
Oh, it does for sure. Yeah.
And the breeding side of things, you're also involved as well?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Probably more so. Though we had a not such a good year this year. We lost a couple of young mares. I did have 8 mares at the start up at Mecca Lodge, but I think we might be down to 6 now. But there's a couple running around at the races that perhaps should be getting bred from, like Savannah Fitz, but I've always never retired because I had too many mares, but maybe she might get a chance this year. Yeah.
Oh, well, congratulations on the award. Well and truly deserved, Ross, and we'll be crossing fingers and toes leading up to the Cup this year.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. Yeah, we'll be there anyhow. Thank you.
Airpark Canterbury is Christchurch's only 24/7 privately owned off-site airport car parking. If you feel strongly about supporting privately owned business, support Airpark Canterbury. It's only a short drive to the airport in the Airpark Canterbury free shuttle. So if you want the cheapest parking option around, try Airpark Canterbury. Call 0800 Airpark or online at airparkcanterbury.co.nz.
There's always a park for me at Airpark Canterbury.
Well, once again, the harness half hour is going international. This time we're heading stateside and chatting to Steve Wiseman, who's one of the leading drivers in his area around Minnesota at this time of year. And Steve, I understand that you're making a very special trip down under in November.
Yeah, we're coming down, I think, November 6th. We land on the 8th, and we'll be there for 10 days. We'll be down there. Darren Taylor and my wife and myself are coming down. We're pretty excited about it.
Fabulous. So you'll be around for New Zealand Cup and one of the country's biggest carnivals. Have you been to New Zealand before, and have you heard much about New Zealand Cup Week, Steve?
I've never been there before, but I've heard plenty about the Cup Week. You know, being in this industry over here, we know a lot about it. And the people I worked for in the past, Joe Anderson and stuff, he purchased lots of New Zealand horses, and he told me lots about it back when I worked for him.
Fabulous. So I understand too, we're going to try and get you a few drives while you're down here and give you a bit of a taste of the New Zealand style of driving, but you've also had a bit of experience driving in races longer than 1 mile, I understand.
Oh yeah, we just recently at home in California, we had a 1.5 mile trot. And a mare that we actually have in our barn, Silverload, she broke the North American track record for a trotter for 1.5 mile
wow.
distance, and we're pretty proud of that, So, but and in the past, we used to have some distance races in California, and I kind of like them. I mean, it's a little different, challenging, and it changes it up a little bit. You don't have to be so aggressive as you do on the mile racing,
Yeah. Oh, exactly. And I guess if you ended up in a standing start race too, Steve, that would be pretty unique for you.
Yeah, that'd be quite something. I've had a few horses that came over from down there, and they were on the standing start, and I'd like to check that out. I think it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, well, we'll do our best, certainly. And for our listeners, Steve, we're a wee way out from November, but just to talk a bit about your career, as I mentioned, you're one of the leading drivers in Minnesota where you're based at the moment, but you travel round quite a bit, isn't that right?
Yeah, our main circuit now is we go home to California for the winter. That's kind of our home base. We used to go back all the time because our daughter was still going to school, but she graduated this year. But we're still going back, just because it's home, and then we come back to Minnesota in May, and we stay here in Minnesota from May till September. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a nice little circuit, and then we get kind of a little break in between, which is nice too.
Yeah.
But I've been all over. I've been to Chicago. I was in Chicago with Joe Anderson. I worked for him there for 7 years. I was in Massachusetts. I raced there. I've raced Michigan, all over, quite a few places. Canada, Fraser Downs, Alberta. quite a few places.
You've been everywhere, and I'd imagine, given your background in California, Steve, quite a few New Zealand trainers were based out on that coast at one time, weren't they?
Yeah, I remember when I first came down there and went to work when I was a kid. Brett Pelling was there still. At the time, Ross Kroger, I know he's from Australia, but he was there, you know, at the time. I actually got to meet Donnie Hayes and Shane Hayes, Peter Blanchard. I got to know him a little bit. I know he sold some horses over here in the past. Frank Rinaldi, I think he's from Australia, I'm not sure. I know him a little bit from when he was with Joe Anderson. Yeah, there's been quite a few that come over, and I got to meet them, and they're good people. I like them. Yeah. We had a lot of fun when they come over.
Yeah, we might have to have a talk to Peter Blanchard and see if he can come down to Christchurch and help you get some drives during that trip.
Yeah, that'd be great. I haven't seen him for years. It'd be nice to see him, you know. Yeah, there was he sold some good horses over here at one time, Van Sobel and some kind of horse, Popsicle, and there were some good horses, I remember, you know.
Exactly. Oh, well, it's great to learn that you're going to be over here, Steve, and I'm sure we'll be able to get the word out and get you a few drives. But are you getting a bit of a chance to travel around New Zealand outside of Christchurch?
Yeah, Darren's actually got us going to plan on taking us around a little bit. I'm not sure what he's got planned, but we're going to, you know, see the sights a little bit too and stuff, not just the horses. We're going to go around and see some of the land.
Perfect. Okay, well, if anyone's listening to this and they want to extend some hospitality, because New Zealanders are great at that, as you well know, reach out to us here at the Harness Half Hour and we'll set up an amazing tour for Steve. And, of course, your wife, Kathleen, is coming with you. And you guys train horses there too, don't you?
Yeah, right now we have, I think we have like 36 right now. We're just trying to figure out how many we have because we have some in California right now. And we have like 30 here, I think. So the total number right now is 36. And,
wow.
But we're always looking. You know what I mean? We're always looking for new ones, and we're always selling some. You know what I mean? Turning them over. So.
Yeah. You never know. You might take a few horses home from your trip to New Zealand.
I would like to. You know what I mean? I'd like to find something down there. That'd be really nice.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, well, you don't need to say that twice because you'll have people banging down your door when you're here. Steve, thank you so much for your time. I know that you're well respected in your homeland, and we're really looking forward to showing you New Zealand harness racing at its very best.
Okay, thank you very much. I very much appreciate it.
Hi, Razor here from Canterbury Rugby. When you need airport parking, choose a team that's on the ball. Meet at Airpark Canterbury and get their free Mercedes shuttle to drop you right off at the terminal. Airpark Canterbury have the cheapest 24/7 airport parking and you'll never get left on the sidelines. Give Airpark Canterbury a try, airparkcanterbury.co.nz.
There's always a park for me at Airpark Canterbury.
Well, of course, time again for our bookie update, and Richard Wilson is joining us from Wellington. Richard, how did the last week or so go for you and the team?
Yeah, it was a pretty good week for us last week, Jess, although there were a higher than usual percentage of multi-collects, so that was a little bit strange, but kicked off on Friday night, no Thursday last week, at Auckland. A couple of big moves there. One came off and one didn't. So Henry Hugh, it opened at $2, won race 8 very well at $1.40. So that was a massive move there. The scratching Johnson Step scratched at $21. That only accounted for about 10-15 cents of that move in. So the rest was all money related. $1,500 at $2, $3,000 at $1.80, $4,200 at $1.70. A couple of $5,000 bets at $1.60. So yeah, massive move there, and he looks a horse of the future. The one that missed there, Bare Knuckle. Now she opened at $4, closed at $3.10, the $3.10 favourite, and held more than twice as much as Chicken did. $2,000 at $4, $2,400 at $3.50, $1,000 at $3.30, and a $10,000 top 3 bet at $1.60. So very thankful that those ones didn't come off.
A couple of big bets that did collect though, 3,000 on Soul Ambition at 220, 500 on Better My Dreams at 9, whilst 2,800 on Go Kiwi at 310 and 3,000 at 290 helped cover the Better My Dreams bets.
And as you mentioned, no Thursday night harness racing last week, so then we went to Saturday at Gore, the Southern region kicking off for the new season.
Yes, exactly, and there were 3 horses that attracted a whole lot of attention there on Saturday, and very happily for us, none of them won. Rin Tin Tin, he was the first of them, race 2, $2,000 and $8,000 bets at 210, and there was an $850 bet at 195. $500 bets on the winner Willison at both 360 and 320. Took some of the icing off the cake there, but not a bad result for us really. Plutonium Lady was the next one in race 3, 1,000 at 260, 1,500 at 220, 8,000 at 210, and $3,000 bets at 195. And all those bets still waiting for her to get a run. The Croupier, now that was labelled the get out horse in the last. There was 7,000 on at 220, 2,000 at 2. And $1,000 at 195, and they all missed out there. So a pretty good day for us at Gore.
Okay, and how did things stack up for you on Sunday then at Rangiora?
A couple of large bets got the cash on Sunday. Matt Damon, 175 into 155. There was $8,500 bet at 170, 5,000 at 160. They did the most damage there. Flash As, now this one was the get out horse, and this time he delivered in the last. 7,000 on at 240, the best bet there. Some decent misses in other races helped us cover those though. 13,000 on Espresso Denario at 160. There's also $1,000 bets at the 150. 3,500 on Let's Hustle at 360 in race 6. And Jimmy Cannon was a big mover in race 7. He opened at 31, backed into $9.50. 170 on at 31, $100 at 21, 100 each way at 16. And 440 for the top 3, and there was 300 each way, 300 on at 14, the largest, but there was a whole stack of bets over about 250, close to 300 bets there. Also in race 7 there was 2,000 over 7,000 on Arcano at 550 and 220.
Yeah, the old grey Arcano, the 10-year-old, and of course multi of the week. You found an 8-leg box multi unit, box multi bet this time. Yeah,
and we got out of jail here, Jess. $1 units, they spent 247 over 8 legs, all at Alex Park. Black Coffee, 350 to run top 3. Magnifique at 340 to run top 3. That was the miss. Lovely Bundy, $6 top 3. The Delightful Major, 240 top 3. Flying Steps to win at 230. Mumsy's Lad, 138 top 3. Charlotte Royal, 180 top 3. And Piani, $3.60 to run the top 3. So with the one miss there, they got back $10,309.75. Magnifique, if you recall, ran fourth, was only a half neck away from third, and had it run third, the collect was $47,645.
Oh my God. Well, good news for you, but not so much for that punter. That would have stung. And the worst cash out option of the week?
Yeah, this one came fairly late, about 2 minutes out from the race. $5,000 on Willison at 3 there at Gore. Would have returned $15,000, but was cashed out for $4,750 before Willison got the job done and started at 320. There was also 300 at 350 that was cashed out for $285. So a bit of wobbles in the Willison camp there.
Yep, feeling a little bit nervous, obviously. And the futures markets, of course, into the new season, how are they looking?
Yeah, just ticking over fairly quietly in the last week or two. We've got a few open now, Jess. We've got the New Zealand Cup, the Dominion Trot, the 2 Inter-Dominion finals. Last week or the week before, it could have even been, we opened up New Zealand Free-for-All and New Zealand Trotting Free-for-All markets. And this Friday, touchwood, with everything going right, we'll be opening the New Zealand Sires Stakes final. So plenty to get into there in the futures market.
Fabulous. So tab.co.nz, keep an eye out for those futures markets too. In the week ahead, busy enough for you and the team?
Yeah, not too. We're back to Thursday. We've got Cambridge on Thursday, Addington on Friday, and the Coorau Cup meeting on Sunday. So just the 3 meetings, sort of the calm before the storm. It's really going to ramp up shortly.
Absolutely. Richard, thank you so much for your time as always, and good luck.
Yeah, thank you very much. See ya.
And coming up racing-wise this week, back to Thursday night, we've got Cambridge Harness Racing for the Waikato Bay of Plenty. Friday night, Addington and Christchurch, and Sunday, it's the annual Kuria Harness Racing Club meeting featuring the Cup, and that will be held at Oamaru. And that's it for this week's Harness Half Hour. Thanks again to Airpark Canterbury and HRNZ Marketing. Don't forget the Harness Half Hour podcast is available on the HRNZ website, the HRNZ Facebook page, on the Punters Lounge on tab.co.nz, via Spotify and also iTunes.